Hey everyone. Hello again. So I'm making a very quick video today about which hospitals are IMG friendly. I get asked a lot like which hospitals are better for IMGs and which one should be our preferences. And to be honest, the question is really hard to answer because there are so many hospitals in Australia and there are no official data which hospital would hire more IMGs and which hospitals hire less IMGs. So there is no official website where we can check that. So I think it's all based on your own, experience with IMGs and the IMGs you have met and you have talked to and what you have seen in the group. So it's a bit like very subjective, but where there is something for sure, and the thing is all the WBA hospital will be IMG friendly because they do have to hire IMGs with only IMC1. So how do we know about these hospitals? Sorry. So if you just go here and type WBA Hospitals Australia AMC. So again, you get all the hospitals that are accredited for WBA, and all these hospitals here are IMG friendly kind of because all of them do hire IMGs with AMC1 because so for you who don't know, so WBA is the alternative of AMC2. So if you don't do AMC2, you can do WBA and get your general registration. So all this list of hospitals will be hospitals that have to hire people on AMC1 only and then get them into WBA. The reality is the WBA programs across Australia are pretty collapsed. I mean, there are a lot of people already working in this hospital, a lot of IMGs with AMC1 working in this hospital, and that's why the waiting list to get into this WBA is around 1 year average. Some hospital maybe before, some hospital maybe after. So yeah, and then here you have the contact of the WBA person. But to get into the WBA, you need first to get a job in this hospital and then apply to WBA. It's not like you can just get a WBA straight away. It's just you apply to this hospital and then you get the job. So based on these, I created a small list of some hospitals that I think, or I'm aware at least, that do they hire IMGs. So in Tasmania, where I'm working now, I'm working at the Royal. All of these hospitals hire IMGs. There are plenty of IMGs at Launceston, plenty of IMGs at Northwest Regional Hospital in Burnie. I even know like Burnie also hire like IMGs from overseas. So I heard about a couple of IMGs that were hired from their own country directly to the Northwest Regional Hospital, and I work at the Royal. My observation is at the Royal Hover Hospital, most of the IMGs are already either been living in Australia or have been working in other hospitals in Australia, or a lot of them are from UK, so through the competence pathway. I did see people who got hired directly from their home countries, but they were more at a registrar level and not an RMO level. So all the ones I know from my hospital who were hired directly from their country were mainly registrars. There are a couple of RMOs as well. So it depends on your luck. It's not the most common thing to hire RMOs from their own country, but it happens. I know as well. Yeah, three of them were the RMOs directly hired from their countries. They were from Brazil and Portugal. But then I have seen registrars directly hired from Pakistan. So it will depend a lot on your luck. So those are the hospitals that did hire people with AMC1, did hire people from overseas. But of course, the competition is high, but you have to apply. Of course, you have to apply to these hospitals. And then we got Queensland. So Queensland, all these are WBA hospitals. The ones I'm aware as well are that, so the ones in yellow are the one because of my personal experience, I'm aware that someone worked there with only AMC1. So Rockhampton Hospital, I know a doctor who was hired as a registrar with AMC1 directly to Rockhampton. And then I know a couple of IMGs who got intern position in Rockhampton. I read about someone working in Toowoomba Hospital as well. I have a friend working at Sunshine Hospital with only AMC1. He was already living in Australia and then he got a job in Sunshine Coast Hospital. And I know IMGs in Townsville. Townsville is very supportive for IMGs. There are a lot of IMGs in there. I'm sure there must be IMGs everywhere else in these hospitals because they are WBA hospitals, right? So I'm not aware, or I've never came across someone that work there. but it's just because I have very little experience in this matter. So these are the ones I'm aware that people are working there. And then in Victoria, you got WBA Hospital. Monash is very IMG. Um, I wouldn't say very IMG friendly. It just hires IMGs with AMC1 because it has WBA. So Monash is an option. And I know IMGs working in Monash. And then you got La Trobe Hospital and Mildura Basic Hospital. And then in Victoria, I'm also aware of other hospitals that are not WBA, but they do hire IMGs with only AMC1. One of them is Northern Health. Also seen Peninsula Health hiring IMGs with AMT1 and Barwon Health as well. I know an IMG working in Barwon Health with limited registration. So these will be the ones in Victoria that I'm aware of. And then you got New South Wales. So you have here the list of all the WBA hospitals. So only the yellow one is where I'm aware people are working, but of course, I'm sure there must be more people working in other hospitals as well. So I'm just aware about Campbelltown because one of the IMGs I know, and he was we met through like AMC1 study. So he got a job in Campbelltown Hospital and then Blacktown as well. Newcastle is very famous for IMGs as well and Gosfords as well. So this is what I have heard, but I'm sure. Okay, and Tari as well, of course. I know Tari. I know IMGs working there as well. So these are the hospitals I'm aware where IMGs are working. And then we got South Australia. So Liel McQueen Hospital do hire people with AMC1. I'm sure of these. One of the IMGs working here with me at the Royal. Actually, her first job was at McQueen Hospital. And then I know that Mount Gambier as well hire people with AMC1. There are other hospitals in South Australia. They are not WBA hospital, and I'm not aware of any other IMGs working there. So that's why I did not include it because it just like I don't have the information about those hospitals and how much they do hire IMGs with AMC1 or not. And then we got Western Australia. So these are the WBA hospital. All of them would hire people with AMC1, but I'm aware of St. John of Gold Midland Hospital. I know IMG is working there, or I came across posts of people working in here. And Northern Territory actually they have WBA hospitals, which are Royal Darwin and Palmerston Regional Hospital. Royal Darwin is famous of accepting mainly people with AMC2. So if you have done AMC2, just email Royal Darwin Hospital and likely you will get an interview invitation. So they are very straightforward with that. If you have passed AMC2, you have a higher chances of securing an interview straight away with Royal Darwin Hospital. So that will be really worth looking into. And yeah, that's all the states, and that's all my knowledge. But it's just a very complex process because New South Wales has more than 220 hospitals, Victoria has 300 plus, and then Queensland 175, South Australia 75, and then you get less in Tasmania. But it's just like very hard to know exactly all the hospitals and who they hire or not hire and how IMG friendly are or not. So what I would recommend is don't get stressed too much about this. It's a whole process. It's a learning curve. You have to get exposed to IMGs to know where they're working and start your own documents. Put in all the hospitals you have heard of, where you have heard people are working, IMGs who are working, and they were working with AMT1, and create your own list and start making it bigger and bigger with time, with more people you come across, with more people, stories you hear about them. So you already know that I work at the Royal, and you know that I got into the AMC1. So that should be on your list now. I'm sure there are many other YouTube or content creator IMGs in Australia, and they do share which hospitals they are working with. So if you just Google working in Australia as an IMG and see where those IMGs are working and note that in your list as well of hospitals. And another thing that I do recommend is Facebook. Facebook is a great source of information, and especially Facebook groups. I do recommend these three Facebook's groups. There are a lot of IMGs in these groups. There's 32K here, 16K here, 14K here, and a lot of them are working already in Australia, and a lot of got a job with AMC1. So you don't have to ask every IMG, you just have to read the post and then search from previous posts. So you have the option to search previous posts. So you just write Hospital Victoria in the group and find the previous post about people talking about hospitals in Victoria. Or if you see someone that is already, in a visa process or already applying for APRA registration, it means that person got a job offer. You can try to ask very politely in the comment section, would you mind sharing in which hospital you got this? Or a lot of people would update their profile saying where they got the hospital. So that you have to be very proactive. You don't have to, and I always say it, in this process, you don't never have to expect to be spoon-fed, not expect that someone will come and give you a list, which is done, and tell you, okay, apply here and you will get a job. It doesn't work like that. It's a lot of trial and error, trial and error. It's a lot about learning the country. It's a lot about being proactive every day, every single day. You need to, have a little bit of time to the whole process to understand, okay, I have added this hospital to my list. I'm aware that this state or this thing exists in Australia. So it's not a quick process. It takes time, and the only good thing is you need to be, consistent and progress. And to be honest, all the IMGs I met, the ones who made it to Australia, the ones who are working in Australia, are very proactive, very self-dependent on searching the information. They are not expecting for anyone to give them the information. Many of them are not even in these groups because they have just researched things by their own, just by Google or by YouTube, and or calling directly the hospital. A lot of them will just contact the hospital directly. You have to find your own way. Unfortunately, there is no official website from APRA or AMC about which hospitals to apply, which hospital have more IMG. There is no such help for now, unfortunately. So you have to be the person who do it for yourself, okay? So look in the groups. Groups are, I just really think that this group, the Pakistani Doctor in Australia, is one of the best groups. It has so much information, so many people working in Australia. And just by observing, where people are saying they are working, or where there's people are saying, I got an interview. So a lot of people will be asking, hey, I got this interview and this hospital, can you help me with the questions? So that means that hospital did hire that person or did offer an interview to that person who is an IMG. So that hospital should be on your list. And this is how you should start approaching hospitals. And this is how you should make your own list of hospitals. And slowly, slowly, you will understand the system. You will understand the state and the health system networks. It just takes time. Just be consistent. And at the same time, if you have not done AMC2 yet, this is the perfect time to start studying for AMC2 and aiming for AMC2. Hopefully, we'll make a video soon about how I did my AMC2 and how I did prepare. And that's it. So if you liking this content, just subscribe so you will get more information about the videos I'm posting. I don't have any other platform where I tell you about my videos. So if you just subscribe to my YouTube channel, you will get all the updates from the videos I'm posting. And I hope that was helpful. I know I'm not the expert. I know I'm not aware of many hospitals as well, and I still have to learn a lot myself. But I'm just going to share you a very honest perspective that we are all, overwhelmed with the amount of information, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm also not aware of many of the hospitals, and it's okay. I'm learning slowly, slowly, understanding the system and getting to meet IMGs, and that's how we make it, and that's how you understand slowly, slowly how things work. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon in the next video.